Let me show you what I found at a flea market this weekend. Some pretty cool knives. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, and thanks for coming back for another video. This is Dave, and I just want to say thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for helping out my channel. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank you for being here. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider it. I really appreciate it. So my name's Dave, if you haven't been here before, and occasionally I go to thrift stores and I find some pretty good deals. This past weekend I hit 2 thrift stores, and the first one, it was in Okeechobee, Florida, right on the north end of Lake Okeechobee. And this is a picture of that flea market. Yeah, and it's called the Trading Post. And let's see, I'm going to show you what all I found at that one. So the first thing I found at that flea market is this guy right here. A butcher knife. Carbon steel. I'm guessing this is probably from the 1920s, something like that. It has the swaged edge up here, that bevel just on one side of the blade. And it doesn't show any signs of it being the crucible steel that a lot of these style knives have, but it's actually very sharp, and the handle's in really good shape. Yeah, just a cool butcher knife. I love these things. And guy had a number of these, and he wanted $10 each. He had one that was actually quite a bit bigger, and it was also a butcher style blade. The rest of them were all like carving knives, old carving knives. And I've got plenty of those, but I don't have a whole lot of the butcher style blades. He wanted $50 for that bigger one. He said it was worth $150, and I didn't argue with him. I'm sure, you know, it was worth more than he was asking, but that was a little out of my budget. So I just got this one from him for 10 bucks. And then another guy had this guy here, this hatchet I bought. And it's in rough shape. And at first glance, I thought it was one of these. This, if you saw this in a previous video, this is a Boy Scout hatchet. It has the fleur-de-lis Boy Scout emblem right there. And then it's marked Bridgeport for Bridgeport, Connecticut, where it was made. And yeah, I thought it was just a really rough one of these. Very deeply pitted, loose handles, everything like that. But when I picked it up and looked, it just says drop forged, made in Germany, right there. Drop forged, made in Germany. The handles are loose, and it's mushroomed badly, and it's pitted deeply, and it's got a lot of gouges and stuff in it. And this is a challenge to clean up. And then look at this. It's bent. Yeah, it was not at all taken care of, that's for sure. It's I'm assuming about the same age as this. I know they made these up into the 50s, maybe even the 60s, from like 1930, 31 on or something like that. Not quite sure how old this is. There's no maker's mark on it that I can see. There might have used to been some kind of marking, but it's long since gone. So this is gonna be a challenge, but I'm gonna straighten this thing up and clean it up and get all the pits out and just use it as a camping hatchet, you know, when I get it fixed up. So that was those I found there. And then I stopped at another flea market in Melbourne, Florida. And here's a shot of that one. And yeah, so that's a big flea market too. And there I found, the first thing I found, kind of a package deal. I got these last items here as a package deal. I got this cold knife, and I was going to pass on it at first, and I thought the sheath was really cool, and at first glance I thought it was an Imperial. I think this is a Hammer brand, which is associated with Imperial, but the blade has been sharpened to death. There's not about half of it's left. But I had one like this before, but it was in really good shape. And I can't remember if it had a tang stamp on it and what it was. But this one, it shows no signs of any tang stamp left. But the blade material is a lot thicker than the Imperial knives that I've had in the past and that I still have. This one's a lot thicker, heavier. It's a lot heavier knife. The guard has kind of a little shape to it, and it's kind of loose. And, you know, as you can see, it's been sharpened to death. But I think I'm going to work on this one a little bit, fix it up. Not sure if I'm going to retain the handles because the balance is way off. It has such a heavy tang on it, and it losing so much of its blade. There's absolutely no balance in this knife anymore. So I may taper the tang and put new handles on it with a tapered tang and try to get a little bit more balance in it and kind of turn it into a little burden trout knife or something. And then, of course, the sheath won't be suitable for that anymore. And I'm not sure if somebody made this sheath or if it's a factory sheath that came with something. If you've seen, I've been putting neat's foot oil on it. It was pretty dried out. It's not in bad shape. It just, you know, it was pretty dry. So I've been adding sheep's foot oil to try to soften it back up again. But I got this knife. I saw it, and I asked the gentleman if he had any other old knives, and then he pulled out this one, and then he had this one here. And so I got all three of them for $10. And this one is, it's been sharpened to death too, unfortunately. But this one's an old J.A. Henkel's pocket knife. And not quite sure what the model of this is or anything like that. But it has two blades and a corkscrew. And I just love the horn handles. I wish they matched a little bit better. This side, it's lighter color, and this side's like a darker color. And I don't think they've been changed. I think it came out of the factory like that, you know. They just used, you know, what they had. This one's going to clean up pretty nice. I mean, unfortunately, not much you can do with the blade wear that it has. But the smaller pen blade, it's been sharpened quite a bit too. And both blades are marked. It has the twins and then J.A. Henkel's and then Soligen underneath that. I still have to clean these up. This one has some rust down in the liners, and it's going to need a really good cleaning. But no bolsters, just the solid horn handles on it. And nice old J.A. Henkel's knife that he threw in. That one and this one with this one, you know, for, like I said, $10. And this one here was just a little advertising knife, clamshell advertising knife. And the only thing, the blade's not in bad shape. It's got a nice, good half stop on it. The spring is really good on it. And it just says made in Germany. That's all this one says on it. Yeah, and then it has this little advertising scene on the scale. And I think it's like some kind of a sticker adhesive thing or something. And this is, I looked this up, and it's a pretty popular ski resort in Bavaria, in Germany. And pretty popular ski resort there that they're advertising on this knife. And it got smashed right here, so I'll pop these scales off, straighten it out, clean it up, clean the blade up, get it working a little bit smoother, and get a snap back in it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I wouldn't have bought it on its own, but he threw it in with the others, you know. And yeah, so I got these three from that guy right here. And then I was getting ready to leave, and there was a guy standing over at his table, and he was taking electrical tape off the handle of a knife. And I said, hey, are you going to sell that? And he goes, oh yeah, it's for sale. And I saw the sheath laying there for it, and it's this guy right here. And like I said, the handle was wrapped up with electrical tape, and it was all sticky. And Wasn't really quite sure at first what it was, but then when I got the tape off of it and cleaned up a little bit and everything, yeah, I used some of that goof off to get that sticky tape residue off of the handle, and the rivet pins were all corroded green. They were solid green and all that, and I kind of cleaned it up, gave it a real quick once over cleanup, and I'm going to spend some more time fixing it up a little bit better. But yeah, this one here is a Western. It's the W39, and it was made probably between 91 and 07, I think, with the type of tang stamp that it has on it. That's very hard to see. I doubt you're going to be able to see it, but yeah, I used a magnifier and looked at the tang stamp and got the date from that. But the sheath is not the greatest. It actually had some electrical tape around the bottom of the sheath too, because they poked it. Got a little twist in it. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. If you see that twist in it, and because of that twist, somebody sheathed it up, and then the tip of the blade went through the leather right here. So I'm going to do a little work on that, and I'll probably just put some adhesive on the split right there, and I'll shove something inside first and try to get that twist out of it, and because otherwise the sheath isn't in too bad a shape, and it's really not that old of a knife. But he also had these little knives here too, a little fob knife that doesn't look like it's ever been used. The blades are really stiff, and it's just marked stainless. I'm not sure if it's Chinese made or what, but it's one of those little fob knives. I've got a few of these already. This is a two-bladed one, and it's not in too bad a shape. I mean, the blades are like perfect, like I said, never been used, I don't think. Yeah, so the same guy also had a little scope, Crosman 4x15 scope, and he said I could have that for $2. And then when I asked him about the knives and everything, I got everything for $11. I got this knife and sheath, and these two knives and the scope for $11, which I thought was very fair. This other little knife, it says Volkswagen on it. So it's like an advertising knife for Volkswagen. Not sure how old it is. This blade is just marked rust-free, German. I mean, it's made in Germany. I think the main blade here, it needs to be cleaned up. It's a little bit dirty. But yeah, the main blade, it's on the back here, it says rust-free. And then on this side, it's a Hoff, I think it's Hoffe, out of Solingen, Germany. This blade says GEBR, I think, and then Hoff, Hoffe. And I looked them up, and it was a company that started in 1919. There's no way, this knife's that old, but not sure when they stopped making knives. Let me know down in the comments if you know anything about the Hoff Knife Company in Germany, in Solingen. But yeah, it's a nice little gentleman's pocket knife, got the nail picker and file on it and everything, and doesn't look like it was used very much. So I'll clean that one up and throw it in my collection. Stainless steel scales and stuff. Volkswagen. Kind of cool. So yeah, this one's going to be the biggest project right here. This bad boy here, but it'll be a fun project. It'll be a little bit challenging to get her straightened up and fixed up and everything. Get it to where I can use it again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Checking out my flea market knife finds. I appreciate y'all watching this day. See you in the next one.